absolutely.
Well, hello and welcome. This is the Connectors Business Network. And inside the Connectors Business Network, we have a lot of cool things that are going on, like this. This is the podcast. We call it the Connectors Edge podcast. And today, my co host is Tanya Hulett. Hi, Tanya.
I am so excited to be here. So thank you, Ricky, for going on vacation.
There you go. Well, you're welcome as a guest anytime. You don't have to be the co-host just to show up. You could just say, I'm coming today. I'm like, okay. That'd be kind of fun to have four people instead of three every time.
Absolutely.
I don't know if we could just do a half an hour, though. It would be hard. So the Connectors Business Network has a lot of different moving parts. One of them is every Monday we have a book club, and that is hosted by Chris Sievers. It's the Connectors Hour Book Club. And this week we are finishing up this book called The 12-Week Year. Yes, there you go. And that is by Marian. And it's been a life-changing, like literally one of the members that has been with us with this book has started a brand new online group specifically using the stuff that she learned in the 12-week year, which I think is pretty cool. She's a yoga instructor. She has a group here on Thursday nights called Marketing Made Easy. She's an online yoga instructor, and she's just so good at marketing. We made her in charge of Marketing Made Easy, and it's a hit. Everyone loves her class, so you should come and check it out if you haven't already. And then this
learned a lot from that class.
I know, right?
Give me so many cool ideas and different things like that. So I've really learned a lot from that class.
I love that class too. And that's the first Thursday of every month, by the way. And then we're gonna be in the book club. We're starting June 1st with Start with Why with Simon Sinek, which I think is pretty cool. I love listening to everyone's perspective in the book club. So Tanya has a different perspective than Chris does, or Suzanne, or whoever shows up read that chapter, or sometimes they didn't read it, but they show up anyway and talk about the things, right? Yeah. So I love it, and I know you do too.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you listen to other people's perspectives, then it gives you a little bit of a different twist. And even if you read a book, like if I go back and read this book next year, I'm going to have a whole different outlook on it, and my perspective is going to be different. So the book club, I love book clubs. I just always have loved book clubs because I like to discuss things.
Me too. So thank you, Chris Sievers, for being the host of that. It's every Monday at 1:00 Central Time. And you can go to, for any of our classes, our workshops, our seminars, our trainings, or the book club, you can go to connectorsbusinessnetwork.com and see everything. And everything is only $10 a month. So can't beat it, right?
No, you can't.
Price. Yes. Well, today, Tanya and I decided we were going to talk about organization. So organizing your life, your business, your personal life, because we have to do that. We have all these different things. So I kind of wrote down all the things that we have to try to figure out. One of them is our clients, our projects, our friends, our future dreams, our life changes, like your car broke down, your refrigerator broke, whatever. Your age has a lot of complications with life changes, your health, your family, all these things. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how we keep ourselves as organized as we can. And then we're going to talk about some of the things that we're into. So Tanya, why don't you start and talk to us a little bit about how do you keep yourself so organized? Because you've got a lot going on, girl.
Yeah, I do a lot of things. So my big thing is beaming love and light. I like to bring different things to people to explore because we're all in different seasons of our life. We're all at different places. It could vary day to day. So some things that might have worked yesterday are not working today and it may work again tomorrow, but it may be something totally different. And so I do all kinds of things. I talk to people about nutrition. I talk to people about meditation and mindfulness, hypnosis, energy work. We just bring all kinds of different things in just to help make our lives. I'll talk to you about your calendar if you want, to make our lives easier. I am a teacher by heart, and I still private tutor kids all over the world in math and science. So I've got that very left side logical brain, and I'm very creative on the right side. So pretty even on both, which makes me a really great teacher. So I just patted myself on the back. Can you believe that? I have a hard time doing that.
I have seen that through the website, through listening to you and talking to different people about you. And yes, you are so different. Most people are one way or another. They might have a little bit of room over here, but they're mostly, if they're IT, believe me, I owned an IT company, and all the technicians had this brain that only worked this way. They didn't work this way, the way that I do, right? So I saw a totally different, we took a test, Myers-Briggs test, and that was the first time I understood that on Monday mornings when I would go, so how are the kids? How was your weekend? And they were like,
you're a yellow.
To do with work? What does that have to do with work? I'm ready to go back here and fix computers. What are you talking about? And I took it personally at first until we took that test. And she's like, oh, no, you don't understand. This is how their brain works. I'm like, oh, but you don't have that, Tanya. You have both sides going strong.
Yes, I have both sides that go strong. In every Briggs and Meyer, every test that I've ever taken, it's always been that way, both sides going. I used to weave rugs while I was in college, taking chemistry and biochem and all that kind of stuff. So I did both of them at the same time, and my brain's always worked that way. So
that's wonderful. So do you offer that as something that people can purchase from you? Like you can help them get organized?
No, I do not.
Okay.
That's a friends and family thing.
Okay. All right.
That is not one thing I do as a paid thing. Yeah, and you want to know why? It's because I've learned, even looking at calendars, that one calendar system that may work for somebody else is not going to work for me. True. And so I can share ideas on how I do things with people, and I don't mind doing that. I don't mind sharing anything, really. But you got to figure out the system that works for you, because you're only going to do the system that works for you. You may try somebody else's system, but if it doesn't work, it's all going to fall by the wayside. I agree. And so that's the whole thing about trying different things on. Don't be afraid to try things on, but you have to be able to let it go when it doesn't work and find what does work for you.
Well, you were showing me something this morning that I found intriguing. It's like all in one book, and it has different things. Yes.
You see this?
Yes.
So I collaborate with a lot of different people. So
yes, you do.
Ricky who's not here. I collaborate with her on her cooking show. I've collaborated with Suzanne. This is what's great about this Business Connectors networking group, is that there's so many awesome people that you can meet from all over the place, and you can collaborate with them. And so I've collaborated with Suzanne, Cheryl, who told me about this group. I do projects with her, and we have 3 projects coming up in the next 30 days. And so, and I also collaborate because I don't want to teach all the classes that I share with other people. I collaborate with people to bring them in to help share things as well. So the only way I can keep myself organized is that I have this big 3-ring binder, and I put every one of my projects in a plastic sheet, and it has notes in there, what I've done and what I haven't done with them. It's not on my computer where I have to find it. I'm one of those pen and pencil people. And I have both of those. I do both. I do both now. I've had to adapt to doing both both of them, but calendars have come a long way electronically. Before, if you delete something, you ended up deleting everything. Now at least ask you, do you want to delete this event or do you want to delete them all or from this? So, so I have all of my events in here. And so as I work on them, I stick them in the sleeves and then I can flip through them really fast. Okay, what do I need to do for this one? If there's something really urgent, I can put a little sticky note on the front of it to get it done. So I have all my events in here. So I have my, I have to go vote next week. That's in here. I'm having I sell a nutritional product and we're having a meeting to do an action hour where we get together and we invite for the next event. So that's in here. I have a appointment that Marian and Ricky have referred me to another lady, which I thought was last week because I wrote it on my written calendar wrong, but put it in my regular calendar right. Drum circle's coming up. Drum circle's coming up. Why capable women still doubt themselves. Common to chaos. That's coming up. I have a live webinar that I'm doing about getting business opportunities for my tower gardens. Blue Moon coming up, Visibility Power Hour, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Being proactive with your health, that's coming up. Ricky's things coming up, Ricky's Kitchen. We're doing medicine bags in person, so if anybody wants to come over and do medicine bags, I have someone coming in and doing that. My bingo for your health. I mean, that's just up till June the 15th.
Okay, all right, I've got to stop you here. Bingo for health. I enjoyed that so much. And if you've got it already scheduled, please let us know the link so I can put it down in the comments, because honestly, you would love it. Okay. It's the most amazing bingo. It's actually got something like, anyway, I don't even know what to say. All I can tell you is I had fun and I learned a lot.
It is packed with information.
It really is.
So we play bingo with fruits and vegetables. And so I talk about fruits and vegetables, about the minerals, the vitamins, the phytonutrients, and how they affect your body. And so it kind of helps you to understand how important eating fresh fruits and vegetables are. And that's one thing that has always, we go in cycles where we do good and we don't do good. I'm kind of in one of those, kind of climbing out of one of those don't do good errors for me. But it really shows you the importance of fruits and vegetables and what they do to your, what they can do for your body, because I know I want to be here. I have grandkids. I have 9 grandkids and 1 great grandson. And one of the grandkids, I'm watching, she's still sleeping. So got her on the baby monitor over here. So I watch her 3 or 4 days a week while her mom works. And, I want to be around for my grandkids. That's one of the things that I want to do, is because I want to be able to do things with my grandkids that my kids can't do with them.
Right, because they're busy working.
I know. We had Intuitive Circle yesterday, and the youngest granddaughter, who's 6 months old, she was joining us for Intuitive Circle, and I was hoping she would take a nap during that while we were meditating. But she had my phone; it wasn't on. She was just chewing on it, and she's 6 months old, so she didn't have much control. She bammed herself in the eye and started crying, and it took me just a second to calm her down. So we're standing up. She's crying now. And we came in and she started staring at a picture on the wall, and she was just talking away to it, just talk. And then I just felt my grandmother's energy there, as we're talking about grandmothers. I felt my grandmother's energy. And when my grandmother passed, we actually released butterflies for her, and these butterflies, when they show up, I just know it's my grandmother. And because I just feel her energy. And she just talk to the butterflies on the wall. Just talk the whole entire time we did our meditation. And so the meditation is about connecting to yourself and really listening to that voice inside. And I was telling people, I always preface any meditation we do, if you hear the raccoons in the ceiling, and because I have raccoons in the ceiling, or the chickens in the backyard, or the dog's barking, or the cat's knocking something off the counter, whatever. All of this is to practice to really listen to yourself all the time. So you can listen to no matter what's going on. And so we had the baby talking the whole entire time, and we had a whole group of women in there just, really trying to tap into, into what spirit has to tell them. And so, anyway, it was an awesome experience. I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, we were talking a little bit about how to get organized and all the things that we're doing. One of the things that I think what you'll have to do is right after we finish recording here today is to send me links to anything that you're talking about. So in case somebody wants to join in, they can, because you've got not only your own projects, but you've got all the projects that you're doing with your friends, your families, your clients. And, inside this group alone, you have the newest thing that's coming up on the 28th of May, which is called the
Visibility Power Hour.
I know, Visibility Power Hour. Think about that. Could you describe a little bit about that? About what's your plans? Because we haven't been to it yet, so it could change a little, but it's in your brain. So can you describe it?
Yeah. So I've done power hours before, and they've been really, really effective. But even if you look back at organization, they'll tell you if you can find a focused time to just sit down and do one thing without any interruptions at all, you can get a lot done in 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Right.
You could be amazed if you're not trying to juggle 15 million things at the same time. And so when this thought came to me, we do these networking every Thursday. We share our information and stuff like that. But we're a networking group. We're here to support each other. And if we could take 1 hour out of each month in a focused time, and we could come together and say, oh, I'm doing Bingo for My Health on Thursday next month, it would really help me out a lot if you could share this in your Facebook group, or if you think of 5 people, text them a link real fast and just say, especially those of you that have gone, hey, I went to this. There's a lot of great information. I really think you would find it, beneficial. And if you come already and if you have something easy that you can, a couple of sentences that you can share with them, say, hey, everybody text 5 people this link and invite them to come, where all they have to do is put in a name or something, or I thought of you because. Think about what that big outreach could be. If we just focus our time. Yeah, that's the baby. She's waking up.
That's great. She is a talker, man.
Yeah, she is a talker. So, if we could just come together and do that. So what I'd like to do this first month, which is May the 28th at 7:30, we're just going to share events, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. We're just going to share each other's events. If you got something that you want to get promoted in June, then let's go in and help share Facebook events or links to stuff, message people, emails, whatever you need. Have that ready before you come in, what you want people to say for you, because that's another thing. I mean, I could say what I want, but it may be totally different than really what I got because my perception is off. But if you can have that stuff ready when you come in and say, hey, I really like to have everybody share this out to your group. Can you share this in your email group? Can you post this in your Facebook or your Instagram or on LinkedIn or whatever you on? Can you help me promote this event this next week? And I want to we have several people that have podcasts and TV shows and do interviews in their Facebook groups. One of the months, what we're going to do is we're all going to bring our calendars and say, okay, I need people to help me. I need people to schedule to come in and, either put because if it doesn't get on my calendar, it doesn't get done. Right. So either, schedule me so that we can talk to see if what I do is a good fit for what you're doing, and maybe I interview in your Facebook group and you interview me in my Facebook, that sort of thing. If we can trade out, can I get on Red Laughlin's TV show? Am I a good match for that? Can I get on Marian and Ricky's podcast? Let's schedule times to sit down and talk and actually get it on our calendar so that it gets done. So there's things that doesn't take very long to do. And we can, writing testimonials. What are some of the other things? I don't remember. I have a list of things for every month for the next year to actually do. Get on and look at each other's bios. Does that make sense to me, what they're doing?
Yes.
Based on what I know,
Yes.
What kind of feedback could I give them? Maybe we all go, maybe we spend 1 month, trying to get our Google pages done, and then we all go in and do a testimonial for people. And I'm not asking. I don't want people to be inauthentic about anything just to do a review, to be doing a review, because that doesn't work. I'm really about alignment. But if you come into these networking groups and you truly network and you learn people and what they do and how they do it, then you can, I've had kids that I've written, even employees that I have written referrals for that, that had some deficits, and you point them out. This person, I'm thinking about one individual, and I've written several referrals for him. He is an awesome teacher. He connects with the kids. The kids love him, but he has a hard time getting his papers graded, and his grades he's not very organized at all. But you can say someone is awesome, and, yes, they have a little, organizational issues, but they're willing to fix them and try anything that you have. They're open to suggestions. They're this, that, and the other, and give them an awesome review, even though you point out something that they need to work on or that they're struggling with. And I would hire him back anytime. But I
have that experience with someone who wanted me to write a review, and I had never actually hired them to do that, but I knew other people that had and how they felt about it. And so I was able to write the review, not lying, not making anything up, but an honest review that sounded really good, because I had experienced other people that had, had experienced it. That's
coming from one person, but referring to several people who have said nice things, great things, awesome things about that person.
That's
right. And so there's ways to get around it where it's still authentic. But I think taking an hour to do that, and help support each other. That's what networking is about: building a network and branching out. Not about you, but about the other people in that network and building those relationships.
After the networking is over, after the class is over, the book club, whatever, then we forget to go back, or we don't have time, or whatever, distractions, like my neighbor.
Or we didn't have time to write it down.
And my neighbor has cancer. So my focus is more on that than, going and writing a review. But like you said, once we have a scheduled time and you're directing it, you're going to be our director to tell us what to do. We can do that with honesty, integrity, and it's going to work. And I love every second of it. Thank you for coming.
And I've always been one of these people that are open for suggestions. And so doesn't mean I'll take it, be honest about it, but it doesn't mean that I can't work it in somehow. So, just are part of it, because it may not be appropriate for the whole group or, whatever, but send me your suggestions, because, there's things out there I haven't thought about, or things I thought about and don't remember, because if I don't write it down or talk to chat about it.
Yes. I'd like to talk about some events, some literal events that are going on that aren't necessarily our own. So I was really excited when Tanya invited me to look at an expo in my neighborhood. So I live in Livingston, Texas, and this particular place is in Cold Spring, Texas, which is about, I'd say, depending on how you go, 35, 45 minutes, something like that, in rolling hills. It's a gorgeous
Beautiful.
place. It's out in the middle of nothing, and it's just beautiful. And it's called Golden Hill Retreat Center, and it's owned by two gentlemen who are just lovely. Oh my goodness. And
Awesome.
thank you for inviting me. So I'm going to a meditation there. I actually ended up doing the expo that she was talking about. It's a once a year annual event that health and wellness and all these. So right next door to me, I built. I bought a tent. I'd never done it before, so people helped me. It was very very kind of everyone. It's beautiful. And next door to me was a gentleman who was representing a dog rescue. And I literally saw one of the dogs get rescued because they brought a couple with them, I guess they were the best, you know, the best they had, they weren't barkers or anything. And it was just such a good feeling. It was not only the drive there because it was a beautiful day, but also the people that were attracted to this event and the fact that the owners came by and introduced themselves and talked to people. It was just beautiful. So I'm so grateful that you are the type of person that you are, inviting me to things, and not just me. Okay, I'm
Yeah, I
talking
invite
about my
everybody.
perspective. But I'm going to, physical things and online things with you, which I think is great. So a lot of people don't take the extra time to invite and share the way you do.
Yeah, and I couldn't even go then that to the expo. So, but I love Nelson and Jason. They are the owners of Golden Hill, and I have known them since they moved into Cold Springs. That's I met them when they moved into Cold Springs because we were going to a meditation. This is before they actually opened up the retreat center. They had bought their house. And so I was one of the participants in one of the very first the meditations and then one of the very first retreats that they actually did there. And I have watched it progress um, um, just so far. But Nelson is a medical doctor. He actually treats patients with traumatic brain injuries, and he his life experience his life experience. He had a stroke at an early age, and that just changed the trajectory of his life because he was so stressed out in the medical field, and so he started looking for alternatives. And so they really explore a lot of alternatives, and they try to bring, the Western and the Eastern medicine together and really bring people from both sides, from traditional medicine to alternative together so that they can really explore both sides and so they can have those conversations about why traditional medicine isn't doing some of these alternative things and why so that the alternative people can see why they're not exploring some of those things. And it's really opened up some really great conversations, and he brings modern medicine into the alternative world so that they can actually experience for themselves. And so he just does that. Both of them do some awesome work out there, and they are reaching people worldwide. They have people coming in from all over. I do want to say that if you are in that area, they do have bunkhouses and private rooms, and you can come out there and do a little staycation. And it's just a beautiful place just to come and stay a night for two. There was a couple, newlywed couple that used to come from Houston, and they would come spend a weekend a month or the middle of the week a month and just go shop at the little shops there right in town. And you could go to the lake. It's just very relaxing. I love to go out there because our phone goes off, stays in my truck, and that's my decompressed time. I just love Jason and Nelson. They're really good friends of mine, and I highly suggest check them out. Just check them
Absolutely.
out.
And that brings me to my next point is we now have the Connectors Daily Buzz, which is articles and newsletters that are going out with the things that we're doing and the people that we're talking about and all this good stuff. So you have a newsletter article that's coming out today, as a matter of fact. So if you want to go and check it out, you can go to the connectorsdailybuzz.com/news. Okay. So if you want to just sign up, you would go to connectorsdailybuzz.com, and that's all that's there, is just a place for you to sign up for the newsletter. But the articles are at /news, and you'll see there's lots of articles that go out. Not all of them end up in the newsletter. So you might want to go to that. And one of the articles that's being written as we speak right now is about the event center. So I think there's going to be a lot more to it in the coming months. We probably can't fit in one article everything that I experienced and everything Tanya is talking about in one article, but I'm going to try to, you have to condense things sometimes. You can't say
break it into smaller articles.
Yeah, smaller articles, because there's just so much. So the interview that you're doing today is not really an interview of you. It's more of a, who is Tanya? What's she doing? How is she staying organized? Because it is very interesting to a lot of people to see all the events and all the things you have going on. And most people don't even realize what your education is, because a lot of times you don't have time to speak about it. You don't have time to tell everybody everything you're doing. And so
yeah, I tell everybody I'm a redneck hippie nerd. I have chicken. I live in downtown, but I have probably right now about 16 chickens in the backyard. I've got a family of raccoons that I would like to trap that are in my attic right now, which I need to get them out. But and because I'm so right-brained, I like all this hippie stuff. I love my crystals. I love my meditation. I studied with a shaman for over 2 years. I'm a certified hypnotist. I've probably done just about every modality there is out there, except for Reiki. I've done some self Reiki stuff, but I'm not Reiki. I also have a bachelor's in biomedical science. I worked animal emergency for 10 years. And I have a master's in chemistry. So
see what I'm talking about here?
Master's in chemistry. And I usually don't
going on.
Yeah, I don't talk about that. I'm very involved in our local chamber in Montgomery County and lots of other networking groups. But, there's a lot of people, the chamber, I've been there 7 years, and they still, because I don't talk about my education. People see me, I'm very approachable. I say that I have a master's in chemistry, and people are like,
what?
You're too smart for me. I'm not going to talk to you. And that's not the case. Everybody, I'm a nerd. I love to read things. I love to learn about things. I love to connect the dots, all that kind of stuff. That's the nerd part of me. But I really feel like that some of the smartest people in the world do not have an education. They don't have a degree. They don't have any of that stuff. Because it's not about what you know, but how you use it.
Yes, thank you.
And so, the paper doesn't mean anything. People can go get, and especially nowadays, people can go online and get a certificate for this, that, and the other, and everything else. 30 minutes, you can get your AI certificate now, in 30 days or 20 days or whatever. My daughter had a baby, and I had all my babies natural. I think I know a thing or two, got quite a few of them. But they kept saying, well, do you have a doula? We were using them like, do you have a doula? Do you have a doula? And they said, my mom's going to do it. And they're like, what? So I went online and took a course, 20, 30, 40, 50 hours. It wasn't anything I didn't already know. Pretty much. Right. There were a few things that kind of surprised me. It was like, okay, that's good. I'll keep that in mind, In case
that happens, yeah.
Yeah. And so then when they went in, do you have a doula? Yeah, my mom's a certified doula. How long did it take me? Not too long at all, a week or two to do all the classes online and just pass a test. And it's done. So it's what you do with it after you learn it. And that's a big thing. You can go and learn lots of things, but until you start to actually integrate it into your body or actually, integrate it into what you're doing and actually physically do it, you're not going to really learn it. I think that's one of the things that when I was in education that really irked me, is that every year there was that new thing that we had to do. And we never had enough time to even implement what the thing that we did last year
I've
or the
experienced
year
that with
before.
doctors. I had a doctor recently who never once mentioned anything about exercise or food. She just wanted to give me the pills, and she actually wanted me to go on infusions. I guess you don't go on infusions, but anyway, a weekly infusion, which is, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours of you sitting there. And I said no. And because I know so many people like you and Red O'Loughlin who are really, really into health and wellness the natural way, that I said, no, there's another way. And sure enough, and when I said to her, excuse me, but you wanted me to do this and this and this, but you never once mentioned food or exercise, any kind of natural. And she goes, well, yeah, of course those work, And I said, well, how come you never mentioned it? And that was the last time I saw her, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're in control. Nobody else should be in control of you. I know, but
we're supposed to do what the doctor tells us. We don't know we're in control.
And that's the whole thing too, is that and I try to tell people, why do I go from nutrition all the way to spirituality, is because unless you're truly aligned both physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, there's not going to have that true healing. There's always going to be a disconnect somewhere, because we're all perfect. We're all perfect and wonderful in our own little ways. And we have to believe that. But when we start believing that we're not perfect in some way, even if it's a little thing, that starts to bring our energy down and our body doesn't know what to do with it. So it gets sick. But if we can keep that alignment going, then we have true health. And it's hard. It's hard these days. You think, look at the news and what everybody tells you, what your doctors are telling you, what the news says, what your neighbor says, what your best friend says, how we've been trained all our lives to believe about things.
Trained.
Trained. Yes, we've been programmed, all of that programming. And that a lot of that programming even comes through with our parents, our grandparents, and you talk about generational trauma. I could do a whole thing on generational trauma, how that's passed up, and we don't even realize that a lot of the feelings that we're carrying has to do with something 3 or 4 generations behind it was just passed on and on and on and on, and until you realize and really dig into, and I'm the world's worst, because I have all these kids. I've had to be strong for them all these years. So what do? A lot of times I will press down what I feel. And I need to get to that point where I can let it all out so that I can be even more wonderful than now. So,
well, I just feel that alignment. A lot of us feel lucky that you're in our lives and that you're able to share like you do. You're just so giving and kind. We've run out of time. I didn't get a chance to talk about a couple other things, so we'll have to have you back. Not only as a co-host, but also as a guest, so that we can drill down a little even further. So do you have any last words of encouragement on organization?
On organization? Number one, find the thing that works for you. Okay. And if it's not working, figure out what's not working and then adjust it a little bit. I have this 3-ring binder with my projects in it instead of file folders where everything that has saved my life. And then I also have my paper calendar.
Yes, I have that too.
Can't see it.
I have to put it in front of you. There you go.
Okay, so I have my paper calendar. And above the paper calendar, I have a list where I can write things down if I need to about things I really need to get done for that day, because I babysit for grandkids. I've got adults in the house. I have to keep their schedules. I do events at the house. I do events online. I tutor. I have, you got to figure out what works for you. because what works for you may not work for somebody else, and what works for somebody else may not work for you. So, and it changes. I've changed my calendar system. What was working before, I've changed it. I used to not do the notebook, the 3-ring binder, and so, I've had to change it up and adapt to what works because I'm busy.
I think that's what I need, because right now I do have my paper calendar, but I also have 3 different notebooks with lots of scribbles on it. And I think because I have so many clients and people who are writing articles for Connectors Business Network, and all these teachers, every Thursday night we have a different teacher, I think the 3-ring binder is going to work for me. So that'll be my next thing. I think I even have one here. I just need to get the inserts and the tabs. There you go.
I have little notebooks too. I get these at networking events all the time, so I end up with a plethora. So this is my Connectors notebook. So every time I do something in Connectors, this is where I open it up and I start taking my notes.
Okay.
So that all my Connector stuff is in one notebook. All my Juice Plus stuff is in one notebook. All of my, if I'm taking notes on something, I belong to an AI academy, and all of that stuff's in one notebook. So I'm not trying to flip through notebooks trying to find my notes from that particular thing, because I tried that. I tried putting them all in one notebook as I do life, but then it got so messy for me. I spent more time looking for it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
I have a group of kids that I tutor really early in the morning on Sunday mornings. And so I have a notebook just for them so I can keep track of what I did with them, what I didn't do, what I needed to do.
Right.
Because if I don't, then it gets lost. I have my intuitive cervical notebook.
One of the collaborations that I'm doing right now is writing a book with Chris Sievers, who is our book club host. And so he mentioned something today, and I went, now where did I put that? We wrote a chapter on that. Where is that? So yes, organization is very important. We'll probably do another one of these to get deeper into organization, because I think if you're not organized, it can be very frustrating, and it can cause health issues as well when you start getting stressed. So thank you, Tanya.
I got one more thing I want to say.
Okay.
So another thing that really helps me when I'm texting and messaging people, especially when I'm doing making appointments or is to restate what we agreed to. Even if it's short. I'm so happy to meet with you tomorrow at 3:30 Central Time.
Right.
Right.
We're talking to people all over. That's right.
Right. This link, blah, 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 blah. So and then I forget about it after I write it on my calendar. But because then if something doesn't happen, you can always go back to that text and say, this is what we agreed on, and they received it. So they should, because you're always like, okay, great, thumbs up, gotcha, whatever, okay, back and forth that you got things. So that helps me a lot too, especially with all the appointments that I make to verify with myself what we agreed and them. So it gives me one more time to confirm it before I forget about it in my brain. So I don't.
If you want to spend time with Tanya, this month is a great time because it's our first meeting for the Visibility Power Hour. That is May 28th. It's a Thursday evening, 7:30 Central Time, and you can find a guest pass. If you want to try it out, you can have a guest pass. If you go to connectorsbusinessnetwork.com, you'll see a big button there. It says, be our guest, and join us, won't you? So thank you, Tanya, for joining me today, and we'll see you all.
Thank you, Marian.